Matchday 34 in La Liga. EA Sports brought us the game between Real Valladolid and Football Club Barcelona at the José Zorrilla. The home side, who are already relegated after losing away to Real Betis last time out, gave the visitors a guard of honor ahead of kickoff, as Barcelona have just lifted the Spanish Copa del Rey. Valladolid were coming into this one winless in their last 14 La Liga matches. Barcelona undefeated in their last 14. It was a team full of rotations for Barcelona. 9 changes to the side that had played against Inter Milan in the Champions League days before this game. And you could see it early doors as Ivan Sanchez would give Real Valladolid an early lead just 5 minutes in. This shot cutting onto his left foot, and it was deflected off Ronald Araujo, found its way over the returning Marc-André ter Stegen and into the back of the net. This game coming either side of the 2 semi-final ties in the Champions League against Inter Milan for Barcelona. Only Gerard Martin and Pedri started this game, who started against the Italian champions. A whole host of changes, mostly in defence, but not much that backline could do with the early goal conceded against Real Valladolid. One of the changes brought in was Pau Victor. He was leading the line. Both Ferran Torres dropped to the bench, and Lewandowski, who is injured, were out, so Pau Victor was there, and with the overhead kick, almost quickly made it 1-1. But the front three for Barcelona really had a tough start, because Valladolid were looking to impress early doors at the other end. It was Raúl Moro who was picked out into space. He was onside as well, but Marc-André ter Stegen was forced into his first save of the evening after failing to keep out the early opener. But as we say, that Barcelona front three was made up of Pau Victor through the middle, Ansu Fati down the left, who was making back-to-back starts in La Liga for the first time since April 2023. But it was Pau Victor who had the next chance again. A good header kept out by Ander Ferreira. The main talking point in the front line, though, was young Dani Rodriguez, who is starting on the right-hand side of the front three, making his Barcelona debut. Here he is on the ball, cutting onto his left foot, unable to hit the target. Ironically, Dani Rodriguez making his debut, as we say, in La Liga and for Barcelona, and yet he's 2 years older than Lamine Yamal, who made his 100th appearance for the club in midweek against Inter Milan. Pau Victor was able to find space here in behind down the left, but tried to play it back across. No teammate in red and blue was picked out. Pedri, though, was still there picking out the passes for Barcelona. Here he found Dani Rodriguez yet again, who let fly. But his shot had a bit too much whip on it and went a long way off target. Pedri was then able to find Ansu Fati, who shifted the ball onto his right foot and put another effort in between the sticks, but Ander Ferreira was again there to parry away. Ansu Fati making only his 6th La Liga appearance of the season, and making only his 3rd start. Not a bad effort. The chance looked like it had got away from him, but he still managed to let fly. Pedri then tried to play the ball across here to Dani Rodriguez, who instantly went to ground holding his arm, and that's because he really seemed to have injured his shoulder. He might in fact just have dislocated it as well in this tussle with Adam Asno, another fellow Barcelona Academy player. But unfortunately for the young 19-year-old winger, his debut was cut short with 10 minutes left to play in the half. He had to go off with that shoulder injury. And on came Lamine Yamal to make his 101st appearance for the club. Anwar Touami was then shown a yellow card for lunging in here on Gerard Martin. Big challenge there on the Barcelona fullback. There was then a shout for a handball from the Barcelona players against Mamadou Sylla. Referee instantly saying there was nothing in the chance because the ball bounced off the ground first. Yamal had this double chance here, looking to make it 1-1 before the break, but it was overhit over the crossbar. Barcelona had more than 7 corners in the first half alone. Gerard Martin got his head on the end of the next one, but no goal for him. At half-time, Hansi Flick made a double change, trying to see his side get back in the game. Frenkie de Jong came on to replace Pedri, whilst Rafinha came on for Ansu Fati. Hansi Flick making changes to make sure that Barcelona would pick up all 3 points. And they started the second half really brightly here with Lamine Yamal running down the line, playing the ball across, Rafinha getting his head on the end of it. This was just a minute in. So the first warning shot in the second period. Barcelona looking to win this game to temporarily go 7 points clear of Real Madrid in the standings, who are playing the next day after this matchup at home against Celta. Rafinha trying to equalise here with this free kick from a very tight angle, but still hitting the target. Ultimately, though, he would find the back of the net. Lamine Yamal's cross was parried away by André Ferreira, but only to Rafinha. And the Brazilian was able to tuck that ball away into the bottom corner to score his 16th La Liga goal of the season. Lamine Yamal playing the ball in. Ronald Araujo there, playing as a makeshift striker momentarily. Just missing out on the ball. He was just onside as well. But then Rafinha, quicker than anyone else to get to that ball on his weaker right foot, managed to tuck it into the bottom corner. Barcelona able to respond. It's now 31 goals in all competitions for Rafinha this term. So we just see the semi-automatic onside there, proving that Araujo was in a legal position. 5 minutes later, though, after the equaliser, Fermin completely turned the game around on its head by giving Barcelona the lead on the hour mark. Goal number 4 this season in La Liga for Fermin Lopez, who would go on to play the full 90 minutes, playing in that number 10 role. Coming in today ahead of Dani Olmo. And it's a tidy finish as well. Gerard Martin, who would actually be named MVP of the match at the end of the game, getting his assist. But it's all in the finish there. Lovely shot across the face of the goalkeeper to make it 2-1. Pau Victor was then replaced by Dani Olmo as the visitors wanted to try and go to pick up all 3 points. Latasa and NDI were brought on for Valladolid in their first couple of changes. Amala and Sylla were the 2 players who made way. Andreas Christensen then went into the referee's book for a high elbow here, catching Juan Milatasa. Play had to be halted as it was a potential head injury. The Danish international was coming into the starting 11, making his first start of the season and playing his first minutes since the opening day of the campaign. He's missed most of this season through injury. Today making his return. Latasa here trying to make Ter Stegen's return even more complicated here, but the German international able to make the save. Hector Ford then took over from Lamine Yamal in more sense than one and tried a couple of quick moves here in the penalty area as he was looking for Barcelona's 3rd goal. But he was denied by the back post. Lovely roulette there from Barcelona's right back, stepping in today in the shoes of the injured Jules Koundé. Grilic and Chucky were then brought on by Valladolid. It was Amala who made way alongside the goal scorer for Valladolid, Ivan Sanchez. Juanmi Latasa was onside here for this chance, but he was denied by a brilliant save from Marc-André ter Stegen, proving that he is back to his best. Playing his first game since the month of September when he picked up that terrible injury away to Villarreal. Sadly though for Barcelona, the final change saw Eric Garcia come on for Gavi, who went down with a potential muscular problem. Eric Garcia then whipped this ball in for Gerard Martin, and Lamine Yamal was denied a goal on the night. The ball cleared off the line by Antonio Candela, but it was a very good defensive move. It was cleared just on the line. Mario Martin then came on for Stanko Juric in the final minutes for the home team. A few free kicks were given away by Valladolid in the final minutes. This one from long range was hit by Dani Olmo on target, but Ferreira was equal to it. The Portuguese keeper was lively throughout the matchup, coming in for Karl Hein, who was back in the squad but back on the bench. There was another free kick minutes later, this one much closer. This one was taken by Rafinha, but it came just off the roof of the net. Barcelona looking to extend their unbeaten run to 15 games and make sure they held on to their lead at the top of the La Liga standings. The final score at the José Zorrilla was Real Valladolid 1, Football Club Barcelona 2.